Hi, I'm Leanne Golan with ProvidenceCoaching.com. When Nehemiah was given a vision, it didn't come to him as a glorious vision to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. What it came to him as was rather a problem. And that's how a lot of God's visions come to his people. When God wants us to do something for him, many times, not always, but many times, he brings us a problem. And then we become the solution to that problem. In the book of Nehemiah, we see where Nehemiah had heard that the city of Jerusalem was being attacked and its walls had been destroyed, leaving them vulnerable to attack. And Nehemiah was grieved at this. He was in Babylon. He was among those who had been held captive, and he ended up with a government position working as the cupbearer to the king. And so when he heard about the walls of Jerusalem, he was grieved, and he knew that in his heart he wanted to do something about that problem. So one day the opportunity came for him to do something about it. And the king had noticed that Nehemiah's countenance was off. And the king, of course, was watching closely each day and each time that the cupbearer would serve him wine to see if the wine was poisoned, because he would drink the wine first, and then if it was appropriate, the king would drink it. So the king would study Nehemiah's face. And of course, he noticed something was off, something was wrong. And when Nehemiah was confronted, of course, he was scared because his life was at stake at that point. But because the king trusted him, he allowed him to share his heart with him. And Nehemiah told him the story of his beloved city and how he it was a serious problem, and he wasn't saying he wanted to do something with it, but he knew that there needed to be something done. And so when the king asked him, "What would you have me do for you?" Nehemiah said, "If it please the king, send me." And we see this in chapter, I believe it's chapter 2. It says here, he says, if I said unto the king, I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou would send me to Judah unto the city of my father's graves, that I may build it. And the king said, how long shall your journey be? And so Nehemiah was getting approval to go here. And Nehemiah was ready for this opportunity. He may or may not have been expecting it, but when the opportunity came, he was prepared. And so when the king allowed him to go, he came back to the king with more requests. He said, if it please the king, let letters be given to me, to the governors beyond the river. So he was asking for letters of permission to cross into different territories. And secondly, he started to ask for all the supplies that he would need. He was asking for the governor's forests that he could take timber to rebuild the walls. And so Nehemiah didn't just say, hey, I'm going to go and fly by the seat of my pants here. No, he was ready. He thought about, what are the things that I'm going to need on this journey and for the fulfillment of this vision. So as we know, when God guides, God provides. And so Nehemiah was prepared to ask for those things that he needed to fulfill the vision God had given him. So the question with that I want to ask you is, if the opportunity came today where God was saying to you, yes, this vision on your heart, I'm going to grant this to you. I'm opening a door, a large and effective door for you. Would you be ready for that opportunity today? So that's a question for you to answer. Only you can answer that question. Maybe you've been working on a ministry and you've been waiting for a certain amount of funds to come in so that you could, I don't know, incorporate or buy a building for your ministry. It depends on just what stage you're at. You might be hoping that maybe you've been working on a book for many years, and you have an opportunity now for media exposure. And the question is, would you be ready to have that book in your hand when you step onto that radio program or the television program, whatever it is? Would you be ready for that opportunity? So as we know, we've been talking about this for a while now, God is opening doors of opportunity for his people in this season. So my question is to you, first of all, are you ready? And then secondly, if you're not ready, what are those things you need to be ready when the opportunity comes? So I'm going to leave that with you. I want you to think about that. I want you to answer that in your own personal, private time with God, and ask God, is there something else that I need to do that I'm not doing? Make me aware of what I need to be doing in order to be ready for the doors that you are opening for me. So with that, I bless you as you move forward in your vision, and be ready for those opportunities God has for you in this season. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and your family. I would love if you would leave a comment below or join my mailing list. I have FYC Immersion coming up. It's a 6-week program to help you find and fulfill your purpose, and there are lots of exciting things coming with Providence Coaching. So thank you again for watching this video.